This is Steve Palmetier recapping the NBA playoffs for this May 1st, 2012. There were three games tonight on the schedule. The first being the Atlanta Hawks and the Boston Celtics, game two in Atlanta tonight. Atlanta was up 1-0, but now the series is tied one game apiece going back to Boston after the Celtics were able to win a big surprising victory 87-80 against Atlanta on the road without star point guard Rajon Rondo and guard Ray Allen, who continues to be sidelined with an injury. A great performance, especially from the truth, Paul Pierce, the captain of the Celtics, with a game-high 36 points and 14 rebounds, leading the way for the Celtics to even the series. The big key was the fourth quarter. The Celtics trailed by 5 points heading into the fourth, where they outscored the Atlanta Hawks 26-14 in the fourth quarter to tie the series at one game apiece. And now game three will head back to Boston, where the Celtics play much better at home, and that game will be this coming Friday, and the Celtics will try to get ahead in the series after coming with a split on the road in Atlanta. In the next game of the night was the Philadelphia 76ers and the Chicago Bulls. The big story of this game, of course, was it was the first game the Chicago Bulls played without star at point guard Derrick Rose. Of course, Derrick Rose tore his ACL late in the game one victory for the Bulls, and it definitely showed in this game two performance as the Bulls fell in a shocking way, 109-92 at home to the Sixers, and that's now tied at one game apiece for that series. Of course, Drew Holiday, the point guard for the Sixers, with a game-high 26 points, a very impressive showing. The Bulls really unable to stop him all game long. And Lou Williams added 20 points off the bench as well for the 76ers. The third quarter, though, in this game was definitely the story. The Bulls held an 8-point lead at halftime. They were looking as strong as they ever do, but in the third quarter, and particularly in the second half alone, they really just fell flat on their faces. They got outscored in the third quarter a whopping 36-14, and from there, it really was too much to overcome for the Bulls, being down by double digits heading into the fourth quarter. My question is, though, I'm a big Chicago Bulls fan. I've watched this team most of the season. Where on earth was the Bulls' defense and rebounding in this game? Some of the stats are just staggering from this game. The Sixers out-rebounded the Bulls 38-32. The Bulls, of course, being one of the best rebounding teams all season in the NBA. They got outscored 25-8 on fast break points and points in the paint, the most staggering stat of all for me. They got outscored 52-25 in the points in the paint. With all the big guys of Boozer, Noah, Ashik, and Gibson of the Bulls, you would have to think the Bulls have to do a better performance than that with their big men, which really is the strength of this team now that Rose is out especially. It's going to come down to their defense and rebounding, and neither one was there tonight in the performance. It looks bad heading into the series now as the series shifts to Philly. Game 3 will be Friday in Philadelphia. The Philly Sixers now, with a game split, have all the confidence in this series heading back home, and it'll be interesting to see what Thibodeau and the Bulls do to adjust after a second half collapse in the United Center, which was really, really tough to watch for me as a Chicago fan. And the final game of the evening was the Denver Nuggets and the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers coming away with a 104-100 victory, now up 2-0 in the series. They won both games at home already. Kobe Bryant, another outstanding performance, 38 points, and now he has 83 career games with over 30 points in the playoffs, second alone to only Michael Jordan. An incredible career continuing for Kobe. And Andrew Bynum, off his triple-double, including 10 blocks, backs it up with another terrific performance by the center, 27 points and 9 rebounds in the win. And now Game 3 will be Friday in Denver, where the Nuggets look to try to get back in this series under their home crowd. But right now, the Lakers looking a little bit too strong, especially in the height factor against the Nuggets for this series. Some of the notable games for tomorrow, Wednesday, will be the first game, the Utah Jazz taking on the San Antonio Spurs. San Antonio winning easily in the first game last Sunday, and now they look to getting 2-0 going to Utah, so San Antonio will play another game on their home court. The second game of the evening will be the Indiana Pacers and the Orlando Magic. That series is tied at 1 game apiece, and now Orlando, getting one of the two in Indiana, will try to extend and try to pull off the possible upset in the series when they go back home to Orlando tomorrow. And finally, the most intriguing game of the tomorrow session will be Game 2 between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Memphis Grizzlies. Of course, the Memphis Grizzlies blowing a 27-point lead to the Clippers the other night in Memphis, and it was one of the most shocking comebacks in NBA history I've ever seen with the playoffs, and it'll be interesting to see now if Memphis can bounce back at home and try to even the series, because you do not want the Clippers to go up 2-0, of course, with the Clippers then going home for games 3 and 4. So Memphis really needing a must-win tomorrow night to tie the series and even it out after a tough collapse at home they experienced the other night. But we will find out with those 3 games for Wednesday night. Until then, I'm Steve Palmatiers. Keep it here for NBA playoff coverage.